Hello, my friends. I am here with Patrick Christensen. He is the head coach of the Nebraska Red Dogs wheelchair basketball. First time I'm actually learning about this organization and what they do. Patrick, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let's just talk a little bit about who are the Nebraska Red Dogs wheelchair basketball team.
Yep. So I coach the Nebraska Red Dogs wheelchair basketball team. We are the only junior wheelchair basketball team in the state of Nebraska. So, and I have a younger kids squad and an older kids squad on my team. Younger kids is about ages 8 or 9 till 13. And then my older kids is 13, 14 until they graduate high school. And so it's a really cool opportunity for kids that have physical disabilities. It gives them an opportunity to get out and be a part of a team, be a part of an organization or sport that they might not otherwise have the opportunity to do just through their school and things like that. So I've actually gone full circle with the Red Dogs. I used to play for the Red Dogs back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and now I'm since about 2015 I've been coaching them. So been pretty cool to kind of go full circle with this whole thing and watch the kids grow up and succeed and really do well in something that they love.
So. Absolutely. I mean, can you just speak to that briefly about how, back when you first got involved in it? I mean, can you tell us a little bit about your history with that?
Yeah. So I got involved back in 1997, I believe. The team, there was a guy by the name of Mike Colt who started the Nebraska Red Dogs back in the early 90s. I think it was 92, 93. So I actually found the team through a wheelchair sports camp in the Omaha area and got involved. And it was a really good thing for me. And same for a lot of the kids that I've seen growing up in it's being a part of this organization. It's not only, it makes kids feel like they have, that they have a group of friends and a group of people that they can really relate to. And, it not only is a sport for them that they feel like they can belong to a sport, feel like they can belong to a organization. It really is, it gives them a sense of just feeling like it really helps out with their self-confidence and things
absolutely.
Like that. So.
I mean, it's that collective, being a part of a team, and when you're part of a team, there's that team atmosphere where you're all working together to, with basketball. I mean, you all have to be in sync with each other
Exactly.
On and off the court, I would think. So,
and I kind of the way that I do things is, I really push, with the kids, not only, doing what you need to do on the court and, and teaching the game of wheelchair basketball and everything like that. But that's all kind of secondary to me. I really, I really teach the kids, what it means to be, to do well in school and have a good work ethic and do those things that you need to do outside of the game as well. So
yeah, no, absolutely. So okay, my next question. So what is the relationship with Nebraska Adaptive Sports?
Yep. So NAS, Nebraska Adaptive Sports, they're a nonprofit organization that they are kind of, they help us with fundraising and everything financial. Sure. So the Nebraska Red Dogs, we everywhere we go, we have to travel to, with the exception of our home tournament because we're the only wheelchair basketball team in the state of, or junior wheelchair basketball team in the state of Nebraska. So there's a lot of financial cost and things that goes with, being a part of the team. And from traveling to equipment to wheelchairs, all of that obviously costs money. And so we do a lot of fundraising so that we are able to do these things, and NAS helps us out with those types of things.
Before we end the conversation, I do want to talk about how people can support the team. But again, kind of looking at the questions we put together. So who is eligible to join the Nebraska Red Dogs? So be wheelchair dependent.
Yeah. So anybody that has a physical disability is able to be eligible to join the Nebraska Red Dogs. So if you're between the ages of 8 and 18, or 8 until you graduate high school, and you have a physical disability, then you are eligible to join the team.
That's awesome. So you have a question: how can people watch the team play? Because you have something coming up on January 29th, which will be here before we know.
So we have our home tournament. It's actually the weekend of February 5th and 6th.
Okay, got
it. Is our home tournament, and that is going to be
the scrimmage on the 29th. The home tournament. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And so that's February 5th and 6th, and that's going to be out at UNO at the field house there, as well as we will have games in the health and kinesiology building at the lower gym.
Okay. Well, again, so the last question I have for you is, how can people support the team? How can they support you in this organization?
Yep. So you can go to Nebraska Adaptive Sports. You can just Google that, and then they have a website. You can go there and support us there. They have ways on the website to reach out and donate to us if that's something that you would like to do, as well as we have you can just, if you have for anybody that is on Facebook, you can just search the Nebraska Red Dogs, and we have a public Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
That you can reach out to us as well.
Awesome. And I'm actually looking at your page on the Nebraska Adaptive Sports.org. You're over on my other computer, and lots of great photos, lots of great information that people can find out, how to support you and what's going on. And so how many kids do you have involved? I mean, how many kids are on the team?
So between the two squads that I have, we actually did pretty well this last off season with recruiting. We were able to get about 5 or 6 new kids. And so I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but we have between 15 and 20 kids between our two squads that are on the team now. So
yeah, that's great. And again, there's more information here too about, how to, first of all, being sponsors, how people can find you, how kids can, reach out to you, and how their parents can connect with you about having their kids involved. So
yep, definitely. That's that Nebraska Adaptive Sports website is definitely probably the best
place to go.
Resource for people to go to if they're interested about getting their son or daughter interested in joining the team. So
yeah,
and we're always looking for we're always recruiting. We're always looking for new kids to come and join. So
yeah,
definitely reach out.
All right. Awesome. Patrick, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. And encourage everybody to check out the website, and much success. Go Red Dogs, Nebraska Red Dogs 2022. So
yeah, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yep. And folks, we will be right back. Well, hello, my friends. I'm excited to be here with Melissa Mayo. She is the executive director of Mentor Nebraska. Used to be called Midlands Mentoring Partnership, but now Mentor Nebraska. Melissa, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, thanks for having me, Andy. We're excited to be here.
Well, it's January, and that means it's National Mentoring Month. So let's just first talk briefly. What is Mentor Nebraska?
Sure. So Mentor Nebraska is really the unifying organization for mentoring in our state. And so we support mentoring programs to improve quality of their services and programmatic efforts, but also to get more folks engaged in mentoring. So we are all about doing that and getting more people into the fold and more people being a part of the mentoring movement.
Absolutely. And mentoring is so, it's so important. There's a lot of different nonprofits that's either their main focus or one of their, they have that as part of their programming. But National Mentoring Month, what is the significance of this month in particular?
Absolutely. This is really a national effort through Mentor, the National Mentoring Partnership, and all of the affiliates. So Mentor Nebraska is one of the state affiliates, but it is really about a movement. It's a movement of around advocacy. It's a movement around mentor recruitment. And so this month is chock filled with activities and opportunities for folks to learn more about the benefits of mentoring, how to get involved, and really what those impacts are for young people and mentors alike.
Absolutely, because the whole mentoring kind of, process, so to speak, is you've got the people that, first of all, you have the mentees, those who are looking for a mentor, and then you have the mentors that sign up, just depending on what the interest is or their relationship with the nonprofit, and then also, we're going to be looking at later this month in a series of articles are the mentees that are now adults and they're out in the world, and talking to some of them about what that meant to have a mentor when they were younger, and how that really, there's so many reasons to mentor and the benefits for the mentee and actually the mentor, because there's benefits on both sides.
Oh, definitely.
Are just it's so important. So let's just let's just talk about the mentee for a minute, that the child being not child, youth, teenager, college student, young adult,
right,
mentored. Can you just speak to what kind of what the benefits are to them?
Oh, absolutely. And I would say this, and this is just coming from what I've heard from young people who've been mentored, right? Yeah. And even adults who've said, I had someone that showed up for me, that was there, in a critical point in my life. And, I think that the benefits are endless, whether it is kind of figuring out who they are, and transitioning into adulthood, because as we know today, that's, there's a lot of factors that are impacting that. But even it can extend into, kind of what career path that they're interested in, or things that they want to get involved with in the community. And so really, I think that the mentor offers, an avenue for that exploration. That mentor doesn't have to know everything. Yeah. But certainly, the impact of having someone that is open to learning and exploring with that young person is really a critical component of mentoring. And that's the fun part of it. And oftentimes mentees or proteges, as we call them as well, don't always understand the impact in that moment. But with some reflection, really there is, it's palpable. You can really understand, in their own words, what it meant to have someone that was there for them in whatever way they needed, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I know just from my relationship with several, with many of the organizations that either do this, 100% or have a program, is a mentor can be involved in the life of a mentee for a year, or sometimes it's a decade, or actually more, that relationship, and it can start very, very young. So let's talk first. We've got a couple, before we'll talk about what's happening this month, but I want to talk about what qualities make a good mentor. Like who, if you're thinking about this, but let's just talk about the qualities. What makes a good mentor?
Yeah, I know. Oftentimes I think one of the things that trips people up is just, thinking about what they have to offer, right? And, if they feel like they haven't quite lived enough life or aren't in the position yet that they want to see themselves in their career. But in reality, mentors are coming from all walks of life and all ages and all career fields. And so we don't like to put, a box around what those qualities look like. And really, I think the thing that makes a great mentor is someone that's open to the experience, someone that's open to learning and sharing and learning new things with their mentee. I think that those are, consistency is huge. That is something that, we want to show up and make sure that when we commit to, becoming a mentor with one of the organizations that we're there, right? So yes, I think, we're trying to demystify some of the maybe older ideological thoughts about what you have to encompass or exemplify to be a mentor. So I'm pretty sure if you're thinking about it, you're probably on the right track and should take the next step.
Absolutely. I know the one thing that it is a commitment. So, and there's different types of commitments, whether it's once a month or once a week, or, it just depends on the organization. And again, your website is amazing to kind of look at the different nonprofits that are offering that so much information there, which it is mentornebraska.org. But yeah, if you're just even thinking about it and starting to explore it, because I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, there are more mentees than there are mentors.
Yes, exactly. I think the sector is always recruiting mentors. It's a year-round thing. It just doesn't happen in January or the start of the school year. Yeah. And so, yes, there's young people on a waiting list. And, I think that if you're thinking about it, there's many opportunities to explore like what that looks like and what that looks like with your career, what that looks like with your family. And so there are, like, as you mentioned, there's mentoring organizations where you meet in the community and do activities. There's some where you meet, at a school. There's times where you meet once a week for an hour over lunch. And so there's just a lot of different opportunities that can work in your schedule. So having been a mentor and a mother, and at the time I was in grad school, I figured it out, right? And so it's something that I think that anyone can find a good place for them.
Absolutely. I just want to talk briefly. I know with the pandemic, and again, I've talked to Deb Denbeck over at Partnership for Kids. So I was talking to her kind of some of the things that they had to do differently. And which I think also, anytime you have to do something differently, it actually opens up even more doors, so to speak. And I think they went to somewhat of a Zoom format for a while. Things are constantly changing, but I know these organizations really, are changing with what's happening in our community. So.
Yeah, and I would say that was, along with everyone else, mentoring programs had to do the same. So whether it was, how that outreach happened, how matches met, so that they could stay connected, in what ways that they stayed connected, whether it was Zoom or Teams or FaceTime or all of those, different mechanisms. It was, like everyone else, you had to adapt. But I think the important part of this, though, was maintaining those connections.
Absolutely.
And that was really the focus, and being mindful of all of the changes that, especially the mentees, we're having to adapt to with, high school look like, all of those things. So just being realistic about that and kind of having some patience and learning lessons about what worked and what didn't work and just,
Yeah.
kind of staying the course.
And well, one of the reasons I even bring that up is that I think there's even more of a need, so to speak, or more of a, I think it's more important now more than ever to really look at this if you're really looking at being a mentor. So
Absolutely.
you have some events coming up happening this month, and like you said, mentoring is 12 months out of the year, but this particular month you do have some things around it. So you want to talk a little bit about those?
Right. So if you follow us on social, you'll be seeing some different ways that you can get engaged. And so today is actually I'm a Mentor Day. So any of those who, if you've been a mentor or currently a mentor, to really speak about your experience, whether it's sharing, photos of you and your mentee or mentees, sharing your story. But we also have some other opportunities that we're doing to highlight the work of our partners in the work. So the organizations that have the program. So we'll be sharing their content. There's a big, obviously, recruitment push because, we need more folks that are stepping forward as mentors. And then we're going to be doing some advocacy work with our elected officials. And so there are ways that they too can support mentoring and by way of funding so that we can increase, the capacity of organizations to serve more youth. So there are a number of ways to get involved, and you can follow us on social, get connected on our website, find out what's happening, with mentoring organizations that you may be interested in mentoring with. And they will welcome you with open arms. So this is a great time to get involved.
Yeah. So you're on Facebook, Mentor Nebraska, other social media.
Yep. And on Twitter and Instagram as well. Yeah. And one of the things that you can do just on your own time as well on our website, we have a search engine, which is called the Mentoring Connector. And so if you at your leisure hop on the website, put in some search criteria, it's really nice because it's a statewide database. So whether you're in the Omaha metro area or outside of the Omaha metro area, you can find all kinds of opportunities near you.
Yes, and I'm on your website right now, which is why I'm kind of looking over this way. There's so much information here. There's so much, and I am on the Become a Mentor page, and just really start looking at where would you like to put yourself, because there's so many different nonprofits, and there's so many different areas, whether it's with girls, boys, young adults, young kids. Sometimes being a mentor, I know, again, Partnership for Kids, they have like a book buddy program, or you read to a classroom. I mean, there's so many ways to impact a child's life. So
yeah, I mean, there's group mentoring, there's one-to-one mentoring that you can mentor with your spouse as a big couple. I mean, there's so many different ways to get involved. We see a lot of folks that get involved, in the workplace and will mentor together. So whether in a group setting or maybe they all are looking at a particular mentoring organization to get involved with. So that's, also an interesting way to go about that as well. So many different ways. There's no shortage of avenues.
Well, we've got literally about 30 seconds left. This has been an amazing conversation, Melissa. One of the questions we've answered this in many ways. How do you get involved? Again, go to mentornebraska.org. There's so much information there. And I know any one of these organizations, if you called them up, they would be happy to talk to you in more detail about what it involves. So
right. And no pressure. There's no high pressure tactics going on. Oftentimes there's info sessions that you can attend to figure out if it's a good fit for you. We just, I think the first step is just reaching out, and we encourage everyone to do so. And I'll say this as an adult. There were many times when I've mentored in my life where I feel like I got more out of it than my mentees did, or I felt like I was having more fun, or things like that. And you think that it's all about what you can give to them, but I think most importantly, it's also what you get out of it as well and what you learn. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and again, I'm sorry, I'm over here looking at your website. There's just so much information. I was trying to look for the list of organizations. You have a lot, but we are out of time. So
yes,
I want to thank
yes,
you for joining me today. We will definitely have you back on, Melissa, and talk more of this. And let's make 2022 a great year for mentoring. So thank you again.
absolutely. Thanks, Andy.